The Pittsburgh Steelers selection is in. Tevin Jenkins is still on the board, tackle out of Oklahoma State, who after the starting at the Texas game in last year's film, really turned on. Well, there it goes.
It is Najee.
Wow.
Out of Alabama.
Wow.
They needed a little help on that run game. There you go.
I don't know if it's like I love the idea of identity and Najee Harris being there, physical is all out there, 6'2", 230, just stretching faces with the ball in his hands. It's great. Not to mention the fact that he does, similarly to James Conner, catching passes out of the backfield. Very proficient in that part of the game. Super exciting, but I still wonder what the heck you gonna do on the offensive line in order to make sure that he's unscathed, right? Like, and you got an old aging quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger as well. I just wonder how we prioritize that position, even as a former running back. I'm like, I don't know if you need to go to that length, Jason, to get this guy right now.
I think you're asking a really interesting question because the Steelers are stuck. We need to be clear. They are stuck at the quarterback position right now. But Field, when you're talking about Najee Harris, look, who is a running back we all agree is just a beautiful thing to watch. Like, the way he runs the ball is absolutely spectacular. There's been some, question on whether or not it's he or ETN that's the best back in the draft. But when you look at this pick, make sense of it for why it helps the Steelers, not just this year, but long term.
First of all, the Alabama recruiting class in 2017, I was sitting on this because I knew it was a possibility. 8 players came into one recruiting class and went on to be drafted in the first round of the NFL. Not the Pacific Coast League that's made up of like a bunch of guys who played college ball at like the level that I did and just want to keep the dream alive. The NFL, 8 of them in the same recruiting class. 8. That's absurd. Any event. So,
by the way, off of that, Stats Information notes that this is only the second time in the Common Draft era that a school has had a quarterback, running back, and wide receiver drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, obviously.
Last year, right?
Last year, which was, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Joe Burrow, and, of course, Justin Jefferson. But here, obviously, with, Mac Jones, Najee Harris, and both the Bama wide receivers.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Whatever,
So, back to the pick. I'm sure that's what you guys actually care about is, all right, so here's how it helps Pittsburgh right now. We got into it. How does it help them long term? You know what, philosophically, I'm with Trev. Like, I'm not a first-round running back guy. I'm just not. There's an incredible amount of evidence suggesting that running backs can be replaced at a fractional cost relative to the premium you're paying the 24th overall pick. My concerns for the Pittsburgh Steelers are that right now, who's playing left tackle for them? Who's playing center for them right now? You've got some legitimate question marks up front. How it helps them is that we have seen running backs that have been focal points of offense, specifically in this division, for a long time. We know that the AFC North is going to want to be battered and bruising. Nick Chubb has sort of changed the Browns' offense. I like the pick. I'm happy that Najee Harris is set up. I mean, Matthew and I do a lot of fantasy stuff. He's probably set up as the top rookie right now, regardless of
top rookie
position.
Running back. He's an easy top 15 running back, arguably top 12. Listen, in terms of the Steelers' offense, they had the fewest rushing yards, the lowest yards per rush in the league last season. They ran the ball at the 4th lowest rate in the NFL on first down last year since Le'Veon Bell left Pittsburgh. Like, he last played for them in 2017. Those 3 seasons since, Steelers are bottom 5 in the NFL in running back rush yards, yards per carry, rushing touchdowns, running back touchdown receptions. I mean, like, pick a stat, and they're batting it almost across the board. They just haven't found any consistency. There's been flashes with James Conner, but it really hasn't been there. You think about that running back room right now with Jalen Samuels and Benny Snell and Kalen Ballage. Not a lot to get excited about, all due respect to those players. Najee Harris is a true 3-down back, and with Big Ben getting older, and maybe this is his last season, trying to take some of the load of that offense off of him. What does Pittsburgh, just to what Gojo was saying, like, he runs like a guy that should be running in Pittsburgh. Like, Pittsburgh is smash mouth football. Yeah. Like, and you need a guy like that. I'm with Field. I wouldn't have taken a running back in the first round. There's all sorts of analytics that suggest that's not necessarily a quote-unquote smart move, but he's now in Pittsburgh, and he's going to be an asset to that offense.
And I hear that, and I know the analytics, and I understand the argument, especially when you're talking about in the top 10. I think where I argue that, we always talk about the window of opportunity when you draft a quarterback. It starts right now because you've got him on their rookie deal. I think if you're drafting a running back near the end of the first round, you realize that a window is now opened. You got 5 years where you are just going to hammer this guy, and you're going to put as much tread on the tires, and then you're going to be like, that's cool. Thanks for your service. We're going to let you go somewhere else.
They absolutely need to take some of the offensive off of Ben Roethlisberger's shoulders, and this is a guy, young, powerful, proven, who can take a heavy load. And the rest of their offense, I'm with you. Listen, offensive line is an issue there for Pittsburgh, but this is something that helps their offense. The Steelers are obviously in win now mode.